What's up, you guys? Mr. Cause here, back with another video, but this time I'm a lot tanner. Just got back from a little vacation surf trip to my hometown in San Diego. So if I seem a little extra happy and excited, it's because I is extra happy and excited. So without further ado, got a question from a real life teenager here once again. And this time the question says, how do you get your parents to give you space to be alone to help you mentally? Well, first off, thank you for the teenager that submitted that question, and got a great answer for you. Here it goes. Do you remember when you were a little kid and you used to get on the teeter-totter?
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production, take 2.
Remember when you were young and you played on this thing called a teeter-totter at the park? If you don't remember exactly what a teeter-totter is, it's that one thing where in the middle there's something balancing it. It's a long board. One person sits on one end, one person sits on the other, and you exchange turns going up and down. The person jumps, goes up and down, jumps.
Baby's on the seesaw. God,
Well, the
dog.
reason why I'm bringing up the analogy of a teeter-totter is because your stress that you have creates somewhat of a teeter-totter effect with your ability to be patient, calm, think logically, focus, and most importantly, express yourself in a way that's not confrontational. So this is how it goes. Imagine this side of the teeter-totter is your extreme emotions, your anger, your frustrations, your disappointments, right? All the things that you're dealing with that cause you stress. And then on this side of the teeter-totter is your ability to logically think about things, rationally, not getting emotional, and just have a good awareness and observe what's going on and think about things in a way that can help you solve problems. Now, on this side, if your emotions go up, get really extreme, look what happens to your ability to think logically and rationally, and just simply put, not freak out. So your emotions go up, your ability to be logical and rationalize things goes down. Your ability to be logical and rationalize things goes up. Your emotions, those extreme, intense, stressful emotions, go down. What do you think happens when you have a lot of stress and you need space from your parents, but they won't give it to you? That's right. This goes up and this goes down. Now, most of you teenagers out there have tried things like telling your parents, hey, I need some time alone. Hey, give me some space. Or I just want to go hang out with my friends because I'm so stressed out. And when you've used those things with your parents, it's usually in the middle of them asking you to do something around the house. Maybe it's at a time where you're supposed to be doing homework. Maybe it's at a time where you and your parents just got into a fight. And so you want to get away, and they don't want you to get away. They want you to deal with the reality, the consequences, or whatever it is that they're talking to you about at that time. In these situations, it can cause it to get a whole lot worse between you and your parents. So wanting to have time away from your parents, that is a right move. It is the right move. It's a good way to get some space so that your brain can go back to being more logical and less emotional. Here's the trick though. Your parents aren't just going to give that to you because, like I said, usually when this happens, you have gotten in trouble. They're stressed, they're arguing with you about something, and you're trying to escape this. So the best way to get a little space so that your ability to be calm, rational, and logical goes up is to get some space from your parents. So if you follow these couple steps, I guarantee you that you will have a much greater chance of your parents giving you space to help you calm down so that then you guys can have conversations and discuss things in a more logical and rational manner. Step number 1. Go to your parents and admit to them that sometimes when you get stressed out, you isolate yourself from them, you want to run away and hang out with your friends, and you guys have fought about this type of thing before. Or at least you guys have had disagreements about whether you need time away from them or whether you don't need time away from them. So when you go to your parents, it's very helpful if you tell them up front that this is something that happens a lot. This is something that when you get stressed, you want time away. But since there hasn't been any sort of agreement about how to have time away from them, parents usually get pretty upset and assume you're just trying to leave them. And they're not necessarily thinking you're trying to take that time to have some space, to calm down, decompress, so that then you can actually have better conversations with them and deal with your stress in a more effective way. Hence, time can help you get more of that rational thought process back in your mind instead of being that overly emotional teenager that sometimes your parents may say you are. Step number 2, go to your parents and tell them you heard about this idea called a get out of stress free card. Now, what this idea is, you as a teenager go to your parents, say, can I have 2 or maybe 3, depending on how good you are getting them to give you more time, but I usually suggest 2 get out of stress free cards every week. And a get out of stress free card is something that's going to help you get a little what you want.
Really want. So tell me what you want, what you really want.
But also help your parents get a little what they want, so it's going to make it more likely that they're going to agree to this. What this is you get an hour completely away from your parents. Now, this can be inside the home. This can be you going out doing, riding your bike or something like that. The only catch is it is something that you need to do by yourself. So let me put it this way. Everyone knows when you talk to your friends when you're stressed out, that's a great thing. It's a great way to help you deal with the stress and process that information. But sometimes you have to sit with your own thoughts and feelings, and you have to contemplate and think about what's going on in your life, and that's a different way to help you deal with stress. The problem is when parents hear their teenagers say, I want to get out of stress-free card and I want to be able to decompress, but I want to do it by go hanging out with my friend who I want to hang out with every day, or my boyfriend or my girlfriend, whoever it is. Parents start to think that this sounds a whole lot more like you just want to have fun and you're using your stress as an excuse to go have fun. So the only way that this works is it's got to be something that you do by yourself, or you could be out doing it outside in nature, just not with anyone else. It could be even going to a movie by yourself. Problem with this is that if you get caught sneaking around and hanging out with your friends at this time, you're gonna lose their trust, and the get out of stress-free card is not gonna be effective. Your parents are gonna say, see, we tried it, didn't work, you blew it.
You blew it!
So make sure if you pull the get out of stress-free card with your parents and you guys agree to this, it's something that you have to let them know and you have to commit to not hanging out with friends. This can't just be some play date with your best friend. Step number 3, tell them, if you're willing to give me a get out of stress-free card, I can guarantee you, if you give me 2 of these a week, I can guarantee you I won't go hang out with my friends. I will come back after I'm gone for an hour, or maybe it's an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, that can be negotiable. But if you come back on time and you do what you're telling them you said you're gonna do, you gain their trust because you actually followed through with it. See, part of the issue with your stress is that your parents don't trust you that you can handle your stress properly, so they want to be there to make sure you're doing the things that they think you should do that can help relieve your stress. Unfortunately for you, this is your life, and this is something that as you get older, your parents can help with, but they cannot manage and they cannot do it for you. You're gonna have to figure this out on your own. Hence, the reason why you probably want to be alone in the first place, because you've probably figured out just by being alone a little bit, it helps the emotions come down. So, get out of stress-free card is the best way to help you get time away from your parents, but without triggering them to make them feel that they are all of your problems. Now, if you're laughing at this and you're saying my parents are all of my problems, well, like I said earlier, you got a lot of problems. Even if they're the numero uno problem, there's still a lot of other problems, and it's not gonna help your parents feel like they should give you time away if they feel like they're the reason for your stress. So get out of stress-free cards takes you going to your parents, which is the step 1. Step 2, you admitting and acknowledging that sometimes you have made things worse, or you just wanted to hang out with your friends. Some sort of confession that you realize that you've made mistakes in the past, but this time you're bringing to them something totally different, which leads you to step number 3, the get out of stress-free cards. If you can promise your parents to follow through with the requirements, meaning not going and hang out with your friends, and you keep to that, your parents are more likely to allow you to get out of stress more often than just 2 or 3 times a week. You just got to prove it to them up front. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my video. And if you liked it and it gave you some interesting ideas about how to deal with the drama in your life, like, subscribe, share, shoot, you know what to do. And if you want to raise your hand to ask the teacher a question, simply put your question in the comment box. Thanks for watching, Mr. Cos.